If one day, your family was brutally murdered by bandits, but among them, a killer got out of jail early, do you get revenge for that? Or just blankly watch that guy wandering out there? Revenge justice is the answer of a man named Clyde. The story begins with the execution of an inmate named Ames. By injecting him with poison, he knew he was going to die. He just said a few last words and cried. The drug gradually absorbed into the body. In fact, that drug has just been made to ease the pain of inmate when they're dead. But it's counterproductive. He's hysterically convulsed in pain and screams. Eventually his blood vessels burst and he died. Everyone around was blankly looking, a bit confused and scared. They don't know why that drug caused him so much pain. After this, the police investigated and found that the drug had been replaced with an extremely toxic drug. The main problem is, who switched the medicine? Who hated this dead inmate so much? It was Clyde, whose wife and children the inmate killed. Darby and Ames, his accomplices, ran into a man's house. It's Clyde's house. They beat Clyde with sticks and killed his wife and children. After that, the bandits were caught, but a lawyer made a deal with Darby to lay the blame on Ames and lower his sentence. Decision is to blame on the other, and let him take the blame instead. The judge also, based on the evidences that the lawyer gave, sentenced Ames to death. The lawyer helped Darby reduce his prison sentence to just 10 years. Ames had been betrayed by his accomplices and given the highest sentence. Everything speaks for the quote that first relationship, second currency is always preferential. After sentencing, Clyde was hit and angry. Seeing the man who killed his wife and kids shake hands, have a friendly conversation with people in court. Reporters around took pictures of them. Seeing that, Clyde turned around angrily. If the law is unfair, he will use his own law. Revenge for his wife and children is his biggest goal. When Darby got out of the jail, he saw on the news that his partner Ames was executed. He laughed happily. He didn't know there is someone waiting for him to get out of jail. At that moment, there is a call. Darby has just picked up the phone. There are 3 things for you. First, drugs on the table. Second, a whore in your house. Third, you just got out of jail. Darby panicked and looked out the window. The cops were coming. He put on his coat and ran toward the direction instructed of the person who is on the other end of the phone line. Darby ran to an abandoned land. Ran fast to the police car being parked there. The police are sleeping inside. Darby put a gun to his head, scared him. Drive Darby away quickly. That policeman stopped the car at an empty spot. Darby couldn't kill people because he just got out of jail. If he kills the cop, Darby's going to end up like his partner. He held a gun and threatened the cop. Call back to the person who instructed him. The voice in the phone is from the cop standing in front of him. He turned his back, took off his wig. Darby finally realized. It is the man that year, whose wife and children he killed. He quickly pulled the trigger. But there was no bullet in the gun. And the handle of the gun popped out the needles. These needles paralyzed Darby's whole body. Clyde reached and sat in Darby's ear. The drug is the poison of blowfish in the Caribbean Sea. Only prevents you from moving. But you could still feel everything. Clyde put a black bag on Darby's head. He took Darby to a dark room. He ties up the man who killed his wife and his children. There are a range of knives on the table, like in the operating room. Clyde has a knife, tells where it's going to be used on Darby's body. Then Clyde injects him, to make sure he's not in a coma, to make sure he feels the pain of being cut by knives. Darby was so scared, he peed in his pants. A few days later, police found Darby's body in 25 pieces of meat. Even seniors police see the crime scene, just want to throw up. They started investigating the body. Soon Clyde was reached by them. The police quickly got to his house to find him. He neither ran away nor tried to escape, just standing by the window waiting for the police to arrive. Helicopters, police cars were surrounding Clyde's house. The police stormed in, and they saw Clyde surrender naked. They grabbed him by the neck and quickly took him away. The old lawyer searched his house, found a law book. There's a lot of specialized knowledge only the people in the law industry can understand. The lawyer also found a newspaper when he and the killer really shook hands. The lawyer went to the prison to find Clyde. 10 years ago Clyde begged the lawyer to execute the killer. But that was not the right killer. The lawyer asked Clyde, "Did you kill?" Surprisingly he admitted guilty. But he knows the law very well. He defends himself. Every sentence of Clyde makes it impossible for the lawyer to convict him. Use law to stay against law for law loopholes. The lawyer gets angry. What do you want in the end? He answers, 10 years ago, you've discussed the terms with the one who killed my wife and child. I'd like to make a deal with you. I want to go to jail. Get me a soft bed. I will pledge guilty. The lawyer says do not dream. But he doesn't know right now. His family has received a videotape. His daughter opened it. There is the whole process. The man kills people, she cried at her mother in fear. But after the police got the tape, still can't convict Clyde. Because that man was wearing a mask, can't help it, the lawyer. Just have to agree with Clyde's terms. The soft mattress was taken to the jail. Made all the criminals jealous and squeal. A few days later in court, the lawyer hoped the judge would not let Clyde out of jail. But he had no proof. Then Clyde OT up. Defend himself, he spoke out a case. With the same situation as him. To prove his innocence. The lawyers were surprised. The judge just had to agree. For no evidence, about to release him. But he laughed at the judge and even scolded her. I'm obviously guilty, why did you let me go? So 10 years ago, did you kill my wife and children? It turns out that she was the judge who lowered Darby's sentence 10 years ago. Clyde bawled out a string of curses. D&D got pulled away by a nearby police officer. Then the lawyer went to Clyde. Only the lawyer knows what happened. He made new terms with the lawyer. I want a first-class steak. The lawyer laughed scornfully. Who cared you? Clyde said without a doubt, you. It's all parts of his revenge plan for justice. Though Clyde was in prison, he still made those senior officials fear and trembling. He says, because I kidnapped the stupid lawyer who 10 years ago defended the one killing my wife and children. The lawyer has been missing for 3 days. They immediately called the waiter. Give Clyde the steak. Everyone came to give him food. He enjoyed the food. The police were watching him eat deliciously. They looked like Clyde's housekeepers. He said, you're 8 minutes late with the steak. The lawyer nodded politely to admit the mistake. Then he told where he had locked up that stupid lawyer. When they rushed to there quickly, they recognized the lawyer's bag. They dug the ground and found out the body. He died 8 minutes ago. All the things were calculated by Clyde perfectly. He was arrested but still played with the police and the law. Whoever knows what he thinks. It is revenge. He used 10 years to plan perfectly. Clyde finished the steak. Secretly held the bone. Stabbed to the beside prisoner's head. Did he become crazy? Too scared to say something. Clyde's been quarantined in a cell alone. He is now a dangerous criminal with the law. He's alone in a dark space, not knowing what to think. The lawyer found out soon enough. The criminal who they caught and made them terrified is military advisor of Central Intelligence Agency. Is a genius special soldier. Take action before anyone else can do something. The lawyer's afraid that Clyde has accomplices. Asked the judge to convict him quickly. She had just signed the paper when she got a phone call. She was shot through the head as soon as she heard it. The lawyer was scared. Clyde got big chains on his hands and neck. But they could not prevent him. His wild steps and revenge. For him, anyone involved in the trial that day has to die. The lawyer knew and quickly alerted everyone. But they neither listened nor believed it. The judge's assistant was explodes with her car. A stream of retribution too. Senior officials of the court took place. They were at the cemetery to see their colleagues off. An unarmed gun killed several members of the Justice Department in a row. The mayor declared a state of emergency. Put the whole city on the alert. Reinforced the armed police, take turns to guard. Just to alert a prisoner who is in custody. They had to suffer from headache. Investigating around the clock. Finally they found a real estate belonging to Clyde. The lawyer and his friend barged in. There were a lot of guns there. They are all heavy weapons. They continued to check around. It turned out that Clyde can observe every corners of the whole city by cameras. Finally they knew the reason why Clyde could kill people easily. Without being there, they're even more afraid to touch Clyde. Clyde disguised himself once again for prison break. He put the bomb there and walked in front of them confidently. Those stupid cops greeted him. A case is put in the leadership room. It's the bomb Clyde wanted to give them. This bomb could blow up the city hall. He can detonate it with his phone. Everyone gave up. Soon Clyde from the tunnel came back to the prison. The lawyer was waiting there. The man was surprised. You finally found out my secret. The lawyer advised the man not to go on. Clyde laughed and went on. Let's talk about our last condition. The lawyer shook his head. He won't negotiate terms with criminals anymore. Clyde taught him what the law is. Use his own law to awaken others' justice. He eventually understood rules of the truth. Clyde completes his aims. He took out his phone and set off the bomb. And closed the door. It turned out that the bomb was soon in his room. The case was locked. He laughed and understood what the lawyer said. Clyde sat and thought about all those things. He took out a bracelet that his daughter made for him. It says Daddy. He finally was able to meet his daughter in life. Indifferently waiting for the death. Though justice comes late. But it surely won't disappear. Only if someone uses the rules to either make a deal or trade. There will be someone like Clyde. Using law circumvents law. Become a criminal to play with the law. Therefore, the more people follow the right rules, the stronger the law will be.